always together in memory. From the moment I met you, I knew you were meant to be mine. The words I see on the page, remnants of what should have been my wedding vows to you, bring a rush of emotions. I fight back tears as I grip the sheet of paper, its surface too smooth against my trembling hands. I can't quite grasp the reality of what has happened. It's been just over a week since you left me. October 15, 2024. A date etched in my mind forever. I sit on the small balcony of our apartment in Vancouver, the chill in the air contrasting sharply with the warmth I once felt when you were here. My landlord calls this space a cozy extension of your living area. It barely fits a small table and 2 chairs, yet today, I can't help but focus on the empty seat across from me. It feels like a black hole, a void where your laughter used to fill the air. The date that was supposed to mark our vows now looms like a dark shadow. I chain smoke, each exhale mingling with the cold breeze, my hands shaking as the thought of a future without you crashes over me. I replay our last moments together in my mind, haunted by the knowledge that I will never see you again. My heart breaking over the reality that your life was stolen far too soon. It was just a few months back when I was planning the wedding details, the excitement bubbling inside me like a soft tide. You walked into the room that day, pale and fragile, your eyes heavy with fatigue. When you told me about your diagnosis, I struggled to comprehend the words cancer and leukemia. I had joked about you being a sleepyhead, never imagining those weeks of tiredness would lead us to this moment. My dreams for our future crumbled as I watched your health decline, each day feeling like a precious gift that slipped further from my grasp. That afternoon we cried together, wrapped in the warmth of our blanket, sharing memories while clinging to each other. I promised to stand by your side through every battle, to love you fiercely as we fought this together. And now, as I sit here, you will forever remain 28, and I can't help but see my own 25th year stained with grief. You transformed my life in ways I never thought possible. You showed me love so profound it felt like magic. And now, as I sift through the pieces of my shattered heart, I can't help but wonder how I'll ever gather them back together. I had envisioned the perfect day for us. I planned to take you back to our favorite spot on Granville Island, the place where I fell in love with you at first sight. The day was supposed to overflow with joy, surrounded by friends and family, a celebration of our love and commitment. Instead, I find myself planning your funeral, preparing for the unthinkable. Instead of walking down the aisle, I'll be pushing a button that sends your remains into the flames of the crematory. On the day we were meant to say our I dos, my journey with you has been tragically cut short. Why did you have to leave me like this, Jamie? Now I sift through the list of invitees, breaking the news of your passing to friends and family. With every call I make to vendors, canceling our carefully arranged plans, I feel the weight of despair settle deeper. I worry about the deposits, about how my dwindling savings will cover the costs of your farewell. Jamie Parker, you've left me a heart broken and hollow. My life feels like a cold void, as if the warmth you brought is now just a memory. I always thought we had so much time ahead of us. Your heart gave out long before I had the chance to give you mine. This was never how it was meant to be. I love you, Jamie, and I'll miss you every single day from now on. Our wedding day was supposed to be the best day of my life. I imagine telling your daughter from your previous relationship how beautiful the day was, how it brought us all together as a family. I envision taking your last name, becoming your partner in every sense of the word, ready to take on life's challenges side by side. But now I'm left with emptiness, grief, and a sorrow that feels insurmountable. I miss you more than I can express. Just hours after your last breath, the apartment feels silent. Your daughter is with her mother, leaving me alone in a space that echoes with memories of you. The quiet is deafening, and I feel a profound ache deep within me. We were supposed to celebrate our love in front of the world, promising to support one another through thick and thin. You were my rock, my reason for waking each day. And the love we shared was something I'll carry with me forever. On what should have been our wedding day, I prepared to witness your cardboard urn being loaded into the fire, watching as the flames consume everything that was once you. Dust to dust. You may be forever 28, but in my heart, you will always grow old with me. As I take the last drag of my cigarette, the glowing embers burn hot in the ashtray, a reminder of the love we shared, fierce and consuming. In this quiet moment, I reflect on the beauty of what we had, and I know that while our journey together was cut short, your memory will always remain a part of me. I crush the cigarette butt into the ashtray, the remnants of smoke swirling around me like fleeting memories of a life that once was. My heart aches with every thought of you. How could life be so cruel? How could the universe allow such a beautiful love story to end so abruptly? I look around the balcony, and the world feels wrong without your laughter and your gentle presence beside me. I get up and wander inside. The shadows cast by the fading light remind me of the warmth that once filled our home. Each room feels like a gallery of memories, photographs on the walls, remnants of moments we shared, the echoes of our joy trapped in the very fabric of the place. I pause by the framed picture of us on our last vacation to Whistler, you laughing as you stand on the edge of a snowy cliff, your arms spread wide as if embracing the world. I remember how you pulled me in for a hug after snapping that picture, the warmth of your body against mine, the way your eyes sparkled with joy. How could I have known that was one of our last adventures together? I shuffle into the living room, where the sunlight barely peeks through the drawn curtains. There's a small stack of letters on the coffee table, wedding invitations that will never be sent, each one a painful reminder of the life we had planned. I pick one up, my name inscribed in elegant calligraphy next to yours, and I feel the sting of tears well up again. I can't bear to look at it any longer, so I toss it back on the pile, the sound echoing like a heartbeat in this heavy silence. With a heavy heart, I retreat to the bedroom, where I find myself drawn to your side of the bed. The sheets still carry your scent, a faint reminder of the mornings when we would lazily wake up together, tangled in each other's arms. I lay down, inhaling deeply, trying to hold on to every fragment of you that lingers in this space. I close my eyes and allow the memories to wash over me. The silly arguments over what to watch on TV, the way we would dance around the kitchen while cooking dinner, the quiet moments where we would simply sit together in comfortable silence. But with every passing moment, the reality of your absence crashes over me like a wave, and I feel as though I'm drowning. I sit up and grab my phone, hesitating for a moment before scrolling through our messages. I find one from a few days before everything changed, just a silly text about what to have for dinner that night. I smile faintly, but it quickly fades as I read your words again. You had always been the one to lighten my mood, even when the world seemed dark. How I long for just one more moment, one more conversation with you. Suddenly, a soft knock at the door breaks me from my reverie. Smia, your daughter. I take a deep breath, trying to compose myself before I answer. As I open the door, her big brown eyes look up at me, full of uncertainty. She is only 10, yet she carries the weight of this loss with a maturity that feels far too heavy for her small frame. Hey, is it okay if I come in? She asks softly, her voice barely above a whisper. I nod and step aside, letting her into the room. She walks slowly, glancing around as if she's trying to find pieces of her father hidden in the corners. Did you eat anything today? I ask, trying to break the silence. She shrugs, and I can see the worry in her expression. How about I make us some lunch? Your favorite. Her eyes light up a little at the mention of grilled cheese and tomato soup. Yeah, that sounds good, she replies, though there's still a hint of sadness in her voice. I guide her to the kitchen, And as I start preparing our meal, I watch her from the corner of my eye. She fiddles with her hands, her gaze drifting to the photographs hanging on the wall. Images of us as a family, moments filled with joy and laughter. It feels surreal to know that those moments will never happen again. I try to distract myself by focusing on the food, but my heart feels heavy, and I can sense Mia's pain even if she tries to hide it. "Do you miss him?" she suddenly asks, her voice barely breaking the silence. I turn to her, my heart breaking for the little girl who has already experienced so much loss. "Every day, sweetheart. Every single moment." She nods, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Me too," she says quietly, and I can see the tears streaming down her cheeks. Without thinking, I kneel down and pull her into a tight embrace. "It's okay to miss him, Mia. It's okay to cry." She clings to me, her small body shaking as she lets out her sobs. I hold her tightly, wishing I could take away her pain, wishing I could turn back time to when we were all together and happy. As we stand there in the kitchen, surrounded by the remnants of our shared life, I promise myself that I will do everything I can to keep Jamie's memory alive for her. After a few moments, her sobs begin to quiet, and we pull back to look at each other. "Do you think he's still with us?" she asks, her voice small. I nod, feeling a warmth in my heart. "I believe he is. In our memories, in our hearts. He will always be with us, Mia." A small smile breaks through her tears, and I feel a sense of relief wash over me. "I want to remember him. Can we look at some pictures later?" "Of course," I reply, feeling a weight lift off my chest. "We can share our favorite stories about him too." "He would love that." As I finish preparing lunch, I'm filled with a renewed sense of purpose. I may be heartbroken, but I can honor Jamie's memory by being there for Mia and sharing the love we all had for him. Our family may look different now, but the love we shared will always be a part of us. After we eat, we settle into the living room with a box of memories, old photographs, ticket stubs, little notes Jamie had written. Each item tells a story, each snapshot a piece of our life together. As we flip through the pictures, Mia giggles at the one of Jamie making a silly face during a family outing to the beach. "He was so funny," she exclaims, and I can't help but smile. "Yeah, he loved to make us laugh," I say, my heart swelling with bittersweet pride. We share our favorite memories, and as we laugh and cry together, I realize that while the pain of loss is profound, the love we shared will always bind us. It will guide us through the darkness, reminding us that even in sorrow, there can be light. As night falls, I tuck Mia into bed, brushing her hair back from her forehead. "Good night, sweet girl," I whisper. "Dream of your dad, okay? He's watching over you." "Good night," she replies, her eyes fluttering shut. As I leave her room, I find myself standing in the hallway, staring at the walls adorned with our memories. I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the time we shared, even if it was too brief. In that moment, I make a silent vow to carry Jamie's spirit forward, to keep his memory alive, to share our love with Mia, and to honor the beautiful life we created together. I will be the partner he would have wanted me to be, a guiding light for his daughter. And as I stand there in the stillness of the night, I realize that although Jamie is gone, he will never truly leave me. He lives on in my heart, in every laugh, every tear, and every memory we created together. And in that love we will always be together, forever intertwined in memory.